So,
well, let me say this real quick, and we'll jump out of this. I hate that you got offended by our comedy. Don't come to our comedy shows because that's the kind of shit that we talk. But don't dog the restaurant because you didn't like us. That's all I want to say.
Tony's abortion joke was hilarious.
Hold on one second. Welcome everybody to my podcast is Man Cave.
Man Cave podcast. Back to abortion.
Yeah, we got Wild Man Scooby in the house and back to the action. So I didn't hear it.
Oh my God! So he was talking about how everything is shut down and the whole and how we voted yes to
Amendment 1. Yeah,
Amendment 1. Right. So he was like, but they can still have abortion clinics. They could just be like vacation homes, and they'd be called Airplane B&B.
I did hear it. Goddamn, I did hear the Airplane B&B. Yeah,
like it was funny. Like I'm not supposed to laugh at this shit, but it's too funny not to laugh.
Oh man,
no man, that's why I love like shit like abortion jokes or mass shooting jokes or.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
So this chick I was fucking with, and we was fucking around and everything. She was like, yeah, I love when you fuck me raw. And I was like, hell yeah. She was like, when you nutted me? And I was like, yeah. She was like, ooh, you be shooting up the club, huh? And I was like Orlando.
Oh, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I be
shooting up the club.
Orlando. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh.
That's bad. I had a really fucked up joke the other day that I'm going to tell it right now, but I'm going to have to cut it out. And then all they'll get is the reaction of you guys. But... and that was my fucked up joke.
Yep, go ahead and cut that out. Go ahead and cut that out.
Yeah, so
go ahead and cut that out, absolutely. But God, that like I joked that fucking terrible. Do you ever hear Ricky Gervais's joke about child molestation?
No.
Oh man, it's so fucking good. Okay. Like, though, I'm pretty sure I can say this on there because the way he phrased it, he was like, it's like a brown bag joke. Like, it's one of those jokes that you just tell. And it's a long one, so strap in. And it's fucking terrible, so strap in for that too, audience. So his joke that he told on stage was basically, father sitting there reading the paper. Daughter comes home. She's like, hello, Daddy. He's like, how was the park, sweetheart? She was like, well, there was... It was going fine, but then a man showed up, and then he immediately puts down his paper. He's just like, "It's okay, you can tell me about this. Just tell me what happened." She was like, "Well, this man showed up, yeah. Then he asked me to go to his van. Oh shit, oh my God. Well, it's okay, but everything's all right. Just tell me what happened next." So I went to the van. And, all right, baby, so what happened next? He was like, well, then nothing happened. I went home, and he's like, well, fuck, make something up. I mean.
I do remember that joke. Yeah.
No, I never heard. That's
good. It's a fucked up joke. Good.
Yeah, it's a fucked up joke. And, like, it's so straight. I feel like fucked up jokes are like, everybody loves them because you're not supposed to like them. But I feel like they hit that special chord for comics of just like,
Yeah.
To say that, to have the audience already in your pocket so you can say that.
The first joke I ever wrote is an extremely fucked up joke.
Are we cutting this one out too?
I mean, I will probably need to.
Yeah, cut that one out.
I mean, that was the first joke
like,
I ever wrote.
That's because they control the money. That's
yeah,
why.
well, but I mean, it's still, you know, and the way
I would love that comment if that joke gets cut out, if it just cuts in right. But they control the money, right? So all the mystery of what the previous joke was.
He was talking about them. Okay.
Who controls the money?
Well, so we had a comedy show this weekend.
Yeah,
finally,
it was so good,
and I had a blast.
Yeah,
I'm still,
Tips Fedora, sir. You did a fantastic job hosting.
You did.
Kept everything right in the P's and Q's. Everything exactly as it should be.
I was worried about it. Thank you. I see where I can improve. 100%.
Oh, you'll do that every show.
So
every comic, even if you're just doing a regular set, walks off stage, except for Mark. Mark never thinks that. He's like, I nailed that shit perfect every time. And that's one of the things I love most about Mark. Is like Mark walks off with a level of confidence that no other comic I've ever met has. Yeah. Where every time he walks off stage, be like, fucking did it perfect.
Well, one of the ways that I feel like I can improve is by, you know, you told me do my rules.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't prepare the people enough apparently because we got a complaint.
Well, I mean,
And I told you
Yeah,
so I'm not going to say her name, but a woman complained, and she complained specifically about me, the first comic, that kid Chris that had never done it ever before, and about Dallas. And she didn't call any of us by name, but she specifically said the first two comics and the host or whatever. So and go ahead.
That's the thing of like whenever you do comedy at a venue that doesn't normally do comedy, there will always be people there that are now surprised that a comedy show is happening.
Right. Well, she came for the comedy. So all right. First and foremost,
revoked.
First and foremost, hey, look, I hate somebody who didn't have a good time. But I get it that it's not for everybody. But the goal is, in my opinion, that we're trying to have everybody have a good time. Right. My goal is not to make somebody not have a good time. Well, so what she says here is visited the Missing Link last night for their comedy night special. What a mistake that was. Let me preface the comedy experience by saying no employee was wearing a mask or wearing their mask correctly. Masks were either completely under their mouths or not at all. I disagree with that because I talked to a lot of the staff throughout the night, and even in the beginning, I was even wearing a mask.
Yeah. We all wore masks when we were going up on stage. Well, we just took them off when we got up.
I fully admit I took my mask off about halfway through the show because nobody else was wearing a mask. None of the other patrons were wearing a mask. The only comic I saw wearing a mask was Whitney.
Yeah.
So, and I just took mine off just because, I was walking back and forth, and it was just getting hot, and fuck, who cares? So I specifically remember the bartender wearing a mask because she kept having to take it down to talk to me. She kept having to take it down. And I've got it all on video, so we can go back and look at every bit of it.
So did the guy.
Yeah, the guy bartender.
Guy did.
Yeah, so I disagree with her statement there. So then it says the establishment obviously cared very little or not at all about COVID-19 precautions, as there were no social distancing. There was no social distancing. There were no postings about masks being required, recommended inside or outside the establishment. Not true.
There's one on the door.
On the door. That's right. When you walk in the door, there was one on the door. And I ought to go down there and take a picture before I edit this. But now for the worst part, the comedy was brought to us by men who had obviously and admittedly never done stand-up before in their lives. Because I did say that, hey, we hadn't done this in a long time, so some of us are probably going to be a little rusty. Yeah. And we have some new faces in here that have never done it before. Yeah. I warned them.
I just can't wait till you get to the end of this.
All right, well, so here we go. Each joke from the first two performers was characterized by homophobia, transphobia, and sexism. One called trans sex disgusting, called his mother a whore, and repeatedly used the word faggot. The very first comic repeatedly referred to President-elect Joe Biden as a mental patient and repeatedly used the term retard. The announcer for the night, unknown whether or not he was the owner or manager, I am not, I am neither, went into disgusting detail about sexting his wife, mentioning his damp cock, and then that he can only fuck her or do her from behind because he's so fat. My partner and I left the show after the first 10 minutes, which that's not true either because I didn't do that joke until about 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I did that joke, I want to say, right before I brought Whitney up.
Yeah, you did.
So that was, and she was halfway through the show. She was the fourth comic. So anyway. And never regretted giving a business our money more. I can only imagine how much worse the night would have gotten from there. It actually got a lot better after you walked out because you missed Mark.
Yeah, you missed Mark.
How did you miss Clyde?
She would have heard Mark.
Just thinking she would have heard Tamaccio.
Oh, right.
If she would have heard the Mark Tamaccio combo, that
and
would
they were back to back. When they back to back.
Yeah, no, it was Mark then Tamaccio.
Yeah, it was.
And they were back to back.
Was, yeah.
Oh my God. Set that bitch on fire.
Yeah.
So, and then although I had recommended the business food before, we will undoubtedly never be returning. Hey, look, I get it if the comment,
Karen.
we call her, Karen. That's good because I got another name. It starts with a K, but I ain't gonna say it.
I was gonna say that too.
So, but I'm trying to be polite here because I get it. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you did come to a comedy show. You should have expected to hear something. And hey, I don't like that you didn't like our stuff. And you're trashing the restaurant. That's not cool. The restaurant did was provide us a place.
No sense.
Yeah, the restaurant provided us only a place. I understand if we offended you that you're upset about that.
And their food was fucking
But
And it was free food in
the employees were wearing masks. None of the patrons were. I fully admit that I was, and I took mine off. But there are signs everywhere. Yeah. You're mistaken on this one. I get it. Dog the comedy, dog me, and me talking about being fat and all that shit.
Don't dog me.
But
fight me.
Don't dog the restaurant. That's what I think is chicken shit in the whole goddamn equation.
The restaurant did everything.
Yeah, I'll take my criticism all day long. That's what,
if it's like if the comedy wasn't to your taste, like I get it if you were of the mindset where like I can't hear somebody use those words.
That's right. Because honestly, you had someone that didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And
naturally, when it's your first time, you go a little bit more to the extreme because you think that's what people want.
And you also cuss a lot, too, because you're trying to fill words.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned is that when I watch myself in the beginning, I cuss a lot.
You cuss
and it's because I don't fucking know what the fuck I want to fucking say. You know what I'm fucking
Yeah,
because I think fuck.
Yeah.
You think it's cool and edgy and it's got pop to it and ring, but it just, you're really just trying to fill words is all you're doing.
You use them I use them for power sometimes.
But and it was just... It's the point. It's also the point of like, here's the thing I hate is like when somebody does a joke, now all of a sudden they're a transphobe. Fucking Dallas isn't a transphobe. He's got trans friends. He's got every.
He always makes fun of himself.
Yeah.
About being a lesbian.
Yeah.
So
it's like he isn't that way. He wrote a joke. And the joke wasn't even like, trans people. It was about the fact that somebody fucking tried to giff him into watching trans porn. And when he did, he had a revelation about trans porn, which I love the concept of the joke.
I have a trans porn joke.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like his. I don't know. I don't think I ever heard it, but I'm not going to tell it now.
I have a trans joke, but I've cut it up so much you can't even tell no more.
Do the little...
Oh man, you know who had, bringing it back, this is gonna be a heavy nostalgic episode. You know who had the best trans joke? Fucking Chris Washburn. That motherfucker's trans joke was amazing.
I don't know him, so
well,
let me say this real quick and we'll jump out of this. I hate that you got offended by our comedy. Don't come to our comedy shows because that's the kind of shit that we talk. But don't dog the restaurant because you didn't like us. That's all I want to say. I've got a feeling you're going to have the ability to watch this. And again, I mean no disrespect. I'm not saying your name. I could talk a lot more shit about you if I wanted to. But hey, I'm not going to do that because that's not polite. It's not appropriate. And it's actually going against what I'm actually saying is like, let's not dog. She's entitled to her opinion. Mm-hmm. But don't dog the restaurant, man. The restaurant didn't do nothing. But the restaurant did nothing but give us a venue to do what we wanted to do.
You're entitled to the criticism that comes behind your whack ass opinion.
Yeah, but
I'm not. If you want to find who she is, it ain't gonna be hard. It ain't gonna be hard to figure out who it is because all you gotta do is go to the missing link Facebook page.
You can find her, and then her husband will proposition for you to have sex with her while he watches. Like that's probably what's gonna happen.
I will cut this out because I feel like it's inappropriate of what I'm about to say. So her husband ain't gonna do shit.
Right. But no, it's like I said. They're like what's funny is like. Everybody else thoroughly enjoyed the show, and that's what I take to heart. Is like a lot of people had a lot of fun and really enjoyed the show.
A lot of people had a lot of fun.
And the nature of what the actual show was, it was by definition, it was an open mic.
Yeah,
it was an open mic competition basically. Yeah. The next show that gets done is going to be a legitimate show. Me and him are going to talk about it tomorrow. It's not going to be any kind of prize or nothing like that. It's going to be a show.
Showcase.
Yeah, where we have, a host, 3 comics, whatever, host 2 comics, however we do it. And
don't make them work so hard.
How many?
I said 3. Don't make them work so hard.
I'm still new to all this.
Depending on what you got, you make it 4.
Well, but hey, let me tell you this.
The thing about it, too, is like we can stretch it out a lot longer because that's more comics over more weeks.
I was about to say, but everybody can't go 20 to 30 minutes.
Everybody can't go 20 to 30, so there's going to be a lot of guest spots.
But the people that are the openers can do 5. You know what I'm saying? We could do what I'm trying to do is get us a place to actually be able to do it.
Versus going to the comedy club.
It's not open.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And even when it was open, when it was open, the open mic night got taken away from us because we weren't popular.
Oh man.
And I'm not saying
there are people like Like a year later, people still don't know there's a fucking comedy club in Shreveport.
And again, I've gotten my ideas as to why things were the way they were, but that's not for me. I don't run the business.
Professionally, the shit ain't done right. Marketing is not done.
I don't know. I'm not part of it, so I have no clue what it is.
Yeah, because how come I have never seen a billboard for that comedy club? Billboards fucking work.
Wait, how about this? Have you ever heard a commercial on the radio?
Yes.
On what channel?
That I know, and that's I know. I don't know exactly what channel, but it's his channel.
Yeah,
yeah, it's the channel.
Now,
yeah,
and this is how I look at it. And you know, I ain't gonna say no names, but professionally,
I can edit anything.
If you're in a media business, and there are two different companies, and you work at company A, and there's company B where you can market your business, your own personal business. This has nothing to do with where you work at. Because he works in the radio station.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my shit on all my stations at my radio station. And you want me to tell what else I'm going to do? I'm going to call my competing radio station at my job and be like, hey, I ain't talking to you as this person from your competition. I'm talking to you as an entrepreneur. I'm talking to you as a businessman. I need my business on y'all radio station. How much it is, I need to cut the check.
Yeah.
And I don't need them just on a radio station that sound like people that look like me. I need it on everybody's station.
Do they? This has always been a tough question to ask. Did they want it to be an urban club or did not?
David, you might not remember this. I don't know if you.
I wasn't a part of it yet.
Yeah,
no.
at the very first.
At the first beginning. Oh no, this is a club for everybody. This is a club for everybody. Yada yada yada. This is a club for everybody. And then slowly. Watch this. This how motherfuckers ain't shit. When everything started flipping in the country, and they were like, black businesses this and black business that, then he hops on stage and was like, we're a black-owned business.
I mean, there's a difference between a black-owned business and an urban club. I mean, it can be black-owned and still be for everybody.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. And see, the thing...
You try to flip, don't do that because, and this ain't me talking bad on he thought having white people work around the bars and stuff like that was going to bring white people in. That ain't how they work.
No, I think funny is what would have had to bring people in.
Well, it's not.
And I fully admit that on the open mic nights, I mean, I was not funny like I should have been. I was not as disciplined and hardworking as I should have been at them. But in my defense, I had also been doing comedy for 6 motherfucking months.
Yeah, man, you ain't got to keep defending that shit.
No, I know I don't. I know I don't. But at the end of the day, I know I didn't do my part as far as like the comic, what they were expecting.
But here's the thing. They shouldn't have expected that from you. Open mics are not there to...
That is practice.
Yeah.
Like,
No. I understand all that now.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm speaking of when I was, in the moment.
Oh, okay.
That's why I never put my 2 cents in because who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. But no.
You know what I mean?
You held your weight better than motherfuckers that been there years.
Yeah.
But,
and it's not just that. It's the fact of like open mics are not there to like they're there. Open mics are a loss for comedy clubs. They're there to scout new potential talent, new things that you can do, and give people a night of fun and kind of give your staff a nice, easy night for guys or girls that need it. It's not that's a lot of people think that open mic nights are supposed to be a profitable night, and they can be in certain areas.
Yeah.
But for a place like this, no. It is a cost for scouting. That is what your open mic night is. Now, here is the thing that a lot of new comedy clubs or new comedy club owners do that is wrong. 100% is wrong in my mind. We'll believe this till the day I die. If there is a local comedy scene that they are basically like absorbing in or cannibalizing or doing what they do, they lean on the comics and they're like, we need you guys to market this. What you don't understand is comics cannot market their comedy in their own hometown. They can't. They're there too often.
Yeah.
You can't.
No, that makes perfect sense, and I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah. It's like working on a new
we were
joke.
Just talking about that.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Working on a new joke takes months. You have to tell that joke for months before it's even a slight polish of where it's ready for the stage.
Yeah, and doing it
And
Yeah.
so you go to open mics to practice and work on stuff and riff a little bit. And like I said, a lot of open mic, when comics go to open mic, they're there to maybe work on one or two jokes, and the rest of the time they're just blowing off steam and riffing.
Yeah.
And that's why
real.
like it's open mic nights are a comic party night. Like they're not there to make your business profitable.
Because the owner was like, it's not a boys club, yada yada yada. Well, yeah, it kind of the fuck is.
Is that why the open mic night got canceled?
It wasn't bringing no money in.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what I.
Yeah, I mean, I remember performing for 2 people one night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's part of the shit.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
not
well, yeah.
irregular for open mic nights in a town this size.
Yeah.
The problem is like they get the idea of like you go over to Dallas and their open mic nights. Well, yeah,
You gotta sign up at 6 o'clock for the show to start at 8. You know what I'm saying? They're expecting that, and that's not it. We don't have, and that's at multiple comedy clubs. That's not even just it. Like if you got that at one
there's
comedy
more-
club
yeah.
in Shreveport.
When you have 200 comics in a city that size,
Well,
yeah,
there's
200
more
comics-
people in Dallas Fort Worth than there is in the entire state of Louisiana.
Yeah. So when you have like and a lot of comics, so and it's the same thing with like comedy clubs out in LA, New York. Yeah, when you have a gigantic pool of comics, no matter what, 40 comics are walking through the door, you know they're going to buy 2 drinks each. So it's not really a loss for you.
Right.
But it's for places this size, it's not meant to be a profit. It's meant to be a talent scout. And you can't lean on comics to do marketing for you because that is not what... There's this whole myth now that comedians are supposed to do their... 100% completely do their own marketing, have their own social media presence, and do all of this shit. And it's like when you expect that from comics, you're just getting an influencer, you're not getting a comedian.
Right.
Most comics are psychologically damaged to the point where they can't handle the responsibility of managing a social media account.
Right.
So
I know I'm not good at it.
I just go off on mine.
yeah, but
My
I laugh at you every time I take a shit, man, because that's the only time I'm really looking at Facebook.
but that's the thing. Like most comics are going to use social media to market
the
to
shit out
yeah.
there, but couldn't
blow
get-
off steam.
Well, not just that, to market shows that we're going to do.
Oh, right, well,
but
yeah.
but how many fucking flyers of shows and events do you have on your Facebook?
And
That's
then you-
not the way to reach and engage people.
Right. Right.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It does take radio. It does take billboards. And even though it's old school shit, it's still super effective.
And the one thing I will say is the one thing we haven't mentioned as far as that, just to play the devil's advocate side of it, is that shit's also expensive as fuck.
It
And
is.
I understand that he probably has a better fighting chance than anybody else in the room because of the nature of what he does.
Right.
But it's still expensive.
I'm not saying it's not
Man,
expensive.
it's very. We
Yeah.
just looked at it where I work because we were gonna we did some radio ads and we did some billboards and we got introductory prices and we were like, oh, okay, that's not that bad. And then once that was over, they showed us the real prices, and it's like, all right, we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know,
And
we can't
know
afford
what?
it.
Cool. Even if you leave it like that, you know you get the deal at your place.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it to,
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
take it to
yeah,
the competition, cool.
yeah.
Just leave it on your place, but put it on everybody's station.
Yeah.
You have a Latino
Yeah,
station.
I
You have
fully.
2 urban stations. You have 4 urban stations. 4 urban stations, a Latino station, a gospel station, and sometimes they need to laugh too.
Yeah.
And a contemporary station and a pop station there. That's what, about 7 stations I just named.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well-
And it's not just that. Also, another thing that comedy club, like especially new comedy club owners, don't really understand, that it sucks. It sucks that this is a full like part of the industry. 65% of your seats, 65% of the tickets you sell, you have to give them away.
Yeah.
Because
I heard that,
you
yeah.
have
was
to get people in the door to buy your drinks.
Wait, hold on, wait. Not only that. Now, not only because he was doing that. I give him that. He was doing that, and because I felt like I was on the street team. If somebody saw me and they be like, "Scooby, when next time you gonna be?" Man, whenever you want to come to the comedy club, just let me know. I'm gonna put your name on the list. Yada yada yada. Whatever. I would do that. But ain't nobody coming to spend $8 for a fucking shot glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been that was my complaint the entire time. It's
That
plastic.
has to be number one complaint.
Yeah, plastic
If you
and
really
ice
wanna know the
chests.
truth, it ain't the comedy club that was keeping that motherfucking building open. It wasn't the comedy shows that was doing it. It was the other event that they had.
That Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
Pope.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna leave
okay,
the name
all right,
out
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and I was going to ask you that too. Who marketed that? Because that shit went.
See, that was already that was already established. That
Yeah.
Oh, and they just moved it there.
It was like before they brought it there.
It was over at that coffee place.
Yeah, it was at 3J's, and then it was at the Consortium, and before that, it was on Linwood, like in the shopping center. Like she took that and made that a monster. That was already a machine.
Yeah, so it had a following to begin.
You know
They
what I'm
just
saying?
they just
Yeah,
had
was
it gave
already
them a
machine.
place.
It was good.
Yeah.
So whatever, and this is what I think. This is my own personal opinion. I felt like it was a trade-off there because she was also the manager of the club. With I ain't gonna say she had no manager experience, but when I initially talked to him about the comedy club and whatnot, he ran into me and he was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a manager," and I'm like,
Is that who it was?
No.
"No."
Nah. It was we're not gonna say names right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I was
it
curious.
wasn't her.
Yeah, okay. I thought she was though. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't mean to pull you off. I apologize.
She's just sweet as apple pie.
Yeah.
I love
Nah,
her.
yeah, I love her to
so
pieces.
much. But no, I think what happened was, okay, I need a venue. I got something that's nice and shiny and it's gonna work.
Yeah. It's proven work.
And let me be your manager, whatever, yada yada run. Cause she ran her shit great, marketing, all that stuff. Now she might be buying on some stuff, but her fucking shit moved. It was a machine. It worked by itself.
Yeah, every Monday I remember it.
That comedy
Yeah.
club though, no. Dates wasn't put up on time. When people called about certain shit, wasn't nobody getting no answers. Wasn't nobody getting call backs. Tickets was being like it was, and I'm not saying it's all on her, but you're the manager. If there's a complaint, I done been in management in a restaurant. I done been in management in retail. You don't just handle the people that's putting money in your pocket any type of way. Somebody tell you there's a problem at table 4 because such and such and such and such. That ain't my problem.
Well, you know
Yes,
that
it is
Yeah.
your problem.
I've seen that comes a
money out
lot
of
with
your
the
pocket.
lack of competition too. That attitude because
yeah.
I'm the only fucking game in town. Go fuck yourself. You know.
But
Was it?
comedy's not water. It's not something.
No,
to put
I
in
get
there.
that, but I'm saying I've seen that attitude come with lack of competition. I'm the only game in town. Eat a dick.